Sound is off. Oh no, sound's working. Okay. What's happening, Kyle Postweight, aka Malker here, Big Kitty Games. I got my nice new Big Kitty Games mug. It's actually really big and sturdy. Great for that morning coffee. Got some sort of quality of life improvements looking to get into today. One is just probably a quick little fix here. Apparently, the harvesting skills. It's a special skill, strong harvest. This guy's not working the same as the basic harvest is for elemental stones, which we are going to be making useful here pretty soon. So we need to make sure that is working. Not even in the list here. It's supposed to be here, and honestly, this is a bad way to do this. We should do some kind of is mineable check from somewhere, some consolidated point, but do that for now. It's just these two spots. And then what is it? Let's see. We need to get the material level. Were we not doing that? Basically, you need to have, we're not, no, we are doing it here. Slots to check does not, oh, well, it's not checking because it's not, wasn't getting assigned this properly. So slots to check 16 is the pickaxe. It's going to look at the pickaxe, find the material level for it, which it needs to be steel, which would be material level 1. And then it's going to send that to the elemental stones when you're trying to use them. So the basic was working fine, but this bit was missing there. So we can check that off. Should work, and I should give it a try here in a minute. Workshop's got some funky stuff going on. One thing I do want to do too is take all button on tombstones. Now let's see. That's going to be facility details UI. Pretty sure. And in some cases, let's go ahead and bump our little Discord notification there. Is that a static button? Let's see, facility. Better start it up and take a peek. I do have a chest down. Cats are doing their usual crazy morning run around. And my throat's starting to get better. I'm on like the 4th or 5th type of medicine now. It's actually not even medicine, it's, Chinese herbs, which are commonly used throughout Asia. Likewise here in Japan. Well, this was another thing, I'll have to look at that. But anyway, let's see. So, the sun is blipping funny. That's driving me nuts. Fixed. So if we look at the storage chest, we don't have one here either. Where do we have those? Uh-oh, I've got double everything. What's going on here? Have been messing with this stuff a bit. Looks like we've got a new bug. I just want to try and put down a reading vat real quick because I believe this guy, no? Who's got the transfer all buttons? I guess it's just bags, huh? Chest doesn't even have them. Okay, well, so we got a few different places to put them in there. So bags would be the storage or container UI. So here we've got empty and fill buttons. And those are actually static buttons in there. Let's go ahead and save the stuff we put down. And open that stuff up. I think that's all child of the inventory UI. Let's turn the loading UI off. Open this up. And we're going to do container UI's buttons. My wife might get called into work here. There was some buttons here for pickup and yada yada. Let's just move them down beneath that. Say maybe minus 50. Empty fill are still in there. That's funny, the fill didn't take on a number 1 there. So we've got empty fill buttons. Let's go ahead and, for one thing, let's expand this guy's height to, there we go. Want to match this up. What is it, 620? You're not even going to show me. 410, what's equipment? 620. And I might have those other buttons anchored from the bottom there, but they're being, there we go, actions 1 and 2. Yeah, these are going from the bottom, so I want to move those guys up. So let's move these guys up to positive 20 maybe, and let's add selectors anchored top left. Let's move you guys to the 410. We added 210, so really though I can just move these up above that there. Let's try that at 80. This is what the action buttons are spawned into. Didn't get called into work. She's working at home anyway. But let's see. Could make action buttons for them. Would be an alternative to sort of scale these up. Let's consider that as a possibility. Move this up to like 100. So these are both bigger now. And let's actually move those back up so they're closer. Something more like this. Or won't show you the outline unless you're looking at them. Maybe a little higher, 170. Unless you've got one of them clicked. You can't have both clicked. I'll leave those, well, I'll move them up too, just in case. And I'm not going to program them in yet, but I'll leave them there for looks so we can look at what we're dealing with in the code anyway. So facility is actually used for tombstones and storage chests and a variety of things. We want to turn the loading UI back on. There we go. And let's see, so when we're spawning facility detail UI, action buttons, there's the action buttons being spawned there. What do we got? Refresh. Okay, so load pickup, upgrade, load rename. Unless we're talking about furniture, we're not. We're talking about facilities. Here we're going to get the rows. Here we're doing the buttons. So let's do actions 2 and actions 1. Here we've got can be picked up, can be upgraded. We've got rename top, rename bottom. Let's see. Anchored position is 0, 30, so this is going upward. We actually want these to be first, I think. What kind of... I guess not all facilities are going to want this though, huh? Because crafting stations are also going to be facilities, for example. Load empty fill, if applicable. I might like the bigger buttons rather than loading these guys. Let's see, let's look at the facility types we've got in game. Well, we do want that in monster drops too. There's a lot of this that doesn't need it though. Let's make a little method. Let's call it it's a nice beautiful day here today, Art. I don't know what you're talking about. It's windy as all hell, but it's looking to be a nice day. Well, it's only supposed to get up to 12. It's like 50 or something. Got up to 65 or 60, 62-ish the other day here. It was very nice. This is not a void. This is going to be a bool. It's going to be can empty fill. And we're going to pass into it a facility type called type. We'll call it fac. And we're going to do a switch. Maybe not a switch. Let's do an if fac equals 2, and then we got a whole bunch of these. So campfire, yeah, we could do that. We'll have to test that out. -2. You're in Ohio, right? I thought Ohio was. Oh, it might be. It is actually. It looks like it is. I don't know why that is. My sound bar is not going up as much as it used to. I didn't change anything though. I do have a filter on it. What's my filter? Gain is already up to 10. Yeah, it is definitely lower than it used to get though. Maybe I plugged it into a different USB port. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Of course, Windows made all of this crap way more difficult than it needs to be. I liked the old white Windows a lot better. Microphone. I can't even, I just want, give me the device. Where's the device properties? This stuff is so weird now. Windows permissions, app permissions. I don't care about permissions. Privacy, microphone, access. Pain in the butt. Maybe this guy? Oh, remove. That's a good option. Thank you. Yeah. Give me the old window. Here we go. USB audio device. Properties. Sound settings. Recording. Logitech. I think it's this guy. It's not my webcam. It's not this guy. It should be this guy. Levels. Can I turn it up? Can I turn it up? I'm looking at it. Is it going upwards? It is going upwards. That's good. Let's turn it up to 75-ish. That looks like about what it used to be at. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this, I like these old windows way better than I like all of these new weird windows. I just want to right click and put properties on it. That's all I need. Anyway, so what were we doing? Thank you for pointing that out, Art. Chanting table, no. Storage chest, yes. Yes. Tier, yes. Forge, reading vet, sawing station. Yeah. No. Don't need. Not sure why. Yeah, let's not put them on trash bin either. Treasure chest, we do want. Transmogrify, sure. Town portal. I think that's got its own UI, but we'll check it out. And tombstone. Deconstruction bench. Nah, we don't want it on there either. Okay, so if any of these show up, I want to get rid of all of these first. Hmm? 食べ物を与えてんでしょうね。へえ。どっち？ Yeah, getting some transfer buttons set up on some of these things here. What did I do wrong there? I gotta do facility types. Dot. Go. And organize that for me. You don't wanna? No? She does that for me. Okay, so if you're any of those, return true. Failing all of that, we're going to return false. Now we can just do a if, let's say linked facility type right there. So if can empty fill the current linked facility's facility type, then first of all we're going to want to do it 0, 0 here. And then I don't think I have empty fill buttons, do I? No. So we're going to want to do empty fill. And like that, which means that now I think I'm going to need to do something like float act1y equals 0 and float act2y equals 0, and we're going to have to do act1y plus equals 30 here, and here we're going to have to do act2y plus equals 30, and then we'll do act1y here and give it another plus 30, and this one will also be act1y, and beneath it we'll give it another plus 30. This way it'll just scale downward as it goes if it needs to, because it won't in all situations. So this will be act2, and this will go on top of that as well. And these guys are only doing one each, so that's fine. Linked furniture we don't use. The spacing will just be how it positions them. If I don't space them properly, they'll overlap one another. Then when the button gets clicked, it's going to come to here. We don't have case actions empty or fill set up yet. And please organize that, thank you. So, how's this guy doing it? I think he's got just a straight up empty container and fill container. Interesting. Well, let's copy these over for now. Empty, and that's true, we do want them to be not on the UI, they need to be on the player so it can go to the server. So we're going to put them here. Facility UI, so this is fill, attempt to add container resources. And that's what this guy actually uses. Let's start with this one. Well, we should probably start with this one. Fill container. That's container jazz there too. We'll go beneath that, I guess. Command fill facility. We don't really want a fill button for all of those. Facility, details UI, can empty. Let's do a can empty and a can fill. So these are all our empties. These are all our fills. Now you can't fill these guys. I don't know why you would fill any of those, but maybe, you know. And it should attempt. Yeah, it should attempt to. Yeah, I'm afraid of playing music because I know people get in trouble for that a lot. Like you get 2 strikes in your band. Tanning rack, treasure chest, transmog. Yeah, you don't want to. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do. Monster drop and tier, you definitely don't. And tombstone, and you definitely don't. Item drop. Maybe you do. I don't know. We'll leave them as options. So this is actually going to be can empty for the empty button. And then this guy's going to be can fill. Okay, now does it have words in it? And are they Viking words? Because if they're English, I can't listen to it. I can't. I can listen to some English, like, but I can't listen to words while I program. Yeah, if it's just, what would that be? Nordic or something? I don't know. I could listen to that. I tend to listen to dubstep just because it's really fast and makes my heart pound. So let's see. We're gonna need to be passing in the facility ID. So we're gonna need to grab it. Let's see. Network identity NI equals network identity dot spawned, and I want to grab using the facility ID, and if NI is equal to null, I'm gonna debug no facility found on command fill facility. If that works, we're going to want to grab the facility. Uh-huh. And random meaningless comments from my wife. So I don't need to check these. And let's see. Now we're just going to attempt to we're going through the player inventory, making sure it's not null. Why are we making sure it can stack? This should be store. Can item stack? I don't care if it can stack or not. Isn't there a store? Can item be stored? Well, let's make one. Can item stack? What am I on? Global methods? I think there's a method like that in item database. Give the shopkeeper the material required to unlock a tier list of recipes. Yeah, that's actually, well, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to get rid of crafting books as they are, and actually have the words that they use be things that you learn, so things that you unlock, and to have most of them be drops, but have some of them be on stores as well. So you can they'll actually be like modifiers that you can apply to equipment when you're crafting. And if you choose to use a modifier, it'll add a new ingredient based on that modifier to the crafting recipe ingredient requirements. Does that make sense? I don't have can be stored being used, it looks like. That's true. I guess I don't really use that. Basically, I just don't want can item stack. So if it's not null, and that's where this guy came in. Attempt to add container resources. Let's see what this guy's doing as we move down through our code here. Attempt to add to facility. I'm going to go ahead and pass it the facility this time. So we're not doing this. We're not doing that. It's just facility slots count. And I don't want to be grabbing that 10 times in a row. I want to do, let's see, this is just an item inventory slot. Slot equals facility slots at position I. These are all just needing to be slot, and slot. So if the slot is not null, it's actually trying to stack the resources. Is that all that those buttons are capable of? They won't actually grab. I guess that's how the bags work, huh? Because you're not supposed to put armor and stuff in bags. That's understandable. For this case, we don't want to do that. We just want to grab it. So if the slot is not null, we want to do slot.item.compare to, and again, we're going to want to just be passing in the item, not all of this stuff. Like this. Now, same thing here. Inventory slot equals inventory slots I don't want to be grabbing the same object over and over there. This is going to be slot, and slot. So we're going to pass this inventory slot that the player is trying to transfer to the facility for looking at. It's going to make sure it's not null, even though we've already done that, but sure, why not? And no, this is actually, now we're looking at the facility slot. So if the facility slot is not null, let's compare to, and we should actually be doing this first before we get on to the other stuff. So it looks for matches first. I'm going to compare to item. And so in this case, I actually do want to see if global methods can stack. Can item stack? Item.item. I know you want me to send the actual item. So if we're not null, means there's something here. If it can be stacked, and it is the same, and this here basically, if the slot, what's all this temp slot stuff going on here? Temp slot. Do I need that? If can be stacked, add to and break loop. If it overflows, put on the max and move on. I don't know why I would need that. I don't think so. Let's delete it for now and keep moving. But basically I want to do this. If slot.item amount plus equals less than or equal game settings max stack size. So if I can no, I need to pass that in, huh? Int amount. Let's see here. So if the current amount plus the amount I'm trying to add is less than or equal to the max stack size allowed, and we are able to stack, I'm going to mark this as being changed, and I'm going to take the current slot that we're dealing with, item amount plus equals amount, and we're going to subtract the amount there, and I do not want to break. I guess I do want to break. That means I was able to completely fill it up. Otherwise, and that is the reason that we do this on a second separate if, like so. let's put right here a check that the current slot.item amount is less than game settings.max stack size. So, assuming we can add even at least one, that means we're going to be changing it, so we'll mark it as changed. Then we're going to, if possible, put everything on here. And that will be done. If not everything is able to fit, we're going to figure out how much is capable of fitting, and we're going to add that, and then we're going to amount minus equals fit, which will continue the loop. Now this loop I want to do first once entirely. So we're going to look for matches that can stack and try to fill them all up as much as possible first. So if there's already like 10 bars in there, we're going to try to add all our bars to those slots first. Failing that, we're going to go through once more and we're going to grab the slots again one by one. And if we find an empty slot, we're then going to add this really shouldn't be applicable. Settle down, kitties. If amount, you know, it would no harm leaving it here. So this is just slot.item amount equals amount. Let's see, slot.item equals item.copy as new, maybe. And yeah, we can just do that. These should be all the same. Well, we didn't do the fit calculation here though, did we? Which would be down here. So if int equals max size minus the current amount, this is assuming that somehow a stack has overflowed, which I have seen happen. I think it's usually only when I'm cheating via the console, but we'll say fit and then amount minus equals fit. So we're marking changed slots. We are not necessarily, and then we're returning amount. So remainder is what we're going to get back from that. I need to also be passing the slot amount. We've also got our changed container slots updating properly within that. So if remainder equals 0, the slot.item amount just gets reduced to remainder. Otherwise, the slot gets reset, which means it's going to clear the item and the item amount. I was not watching multi-stream chat. I hope I didn't miss anybody there. I think it was just Art, right? I was watching Twitch chat, sorry if I did miss someone. And then we're going to update the change slots, yada yada. Container UI is not what we're looking at. Update facility details. This is not container slots. This is facility dot update client data, and I'm going to want to pass the current player's connection into that. So connection to client, I believe, is what we're looking for. So that's the add method. Fill. Now we also want to copy the empty method, and then we'll give these both a try. So in this case, empty facility, we're doing more or less the same thing but backwards. So I want to grab this stuff here. We're going to look for the facility. Facility slots count. We're going backwards. Why are we going backwards? Why did I decide it was a good idea to go backwards? I guess that's kind of intuitive. So, we're not going to grab them one by one. We're going to grab it once. Inventory slot. Slot equals facility. Facility slots it index I. And so all of you guys are now going to just be called slot. Like so. If the slot is not null, it means we've found something in the facility. It's not fluid, shouldn't be under any circumstance. There is a chance for this to be a Reading vat though, isn't it? So let's go ahead and say that. Yeah, it's not fluid. Hey Shark, what's happening? Changed container slots, we will attempt to add resources. This is currently in the player inventory, so let's see. Attempt to add item. Well, let's see. Attempt to add resources is not quite enough, because now we're dealing with containers that can hold things that are not just resources. I'm curious about this guy. Slot type, and the number we're trying to pass. I think we just want to do attempt swap. Whoops. And this is going to ask us for where we're coming from and where we're headed, basically. But I don't actually want to swap. I just want to try and add items. So let's see. So we're going to continue this loop as long as I is greater than or equal to 0. So yeah, we want to do the same thing actually. We haven't been doing this properly in the past. Hey StopNut, what's happening? We got Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube all coming in at once. So I want to go through everything. Well, I want to grab the slot, and then I want to go through the entire player inventory and see if I can't find somewhere to stack it first. So that's what we were doing over here. It's pretty much the same thing, just that we now want to be doing it based on the inventory slots of the player. And we can't use I. Let's do S. So inventory slot, let's see. Let's call it player slot equals inventory slots at index I, and no, that's S. So now we're looking at if player slot that item does not equal null, and it can stack. This is player slot dot item, and player slot dot item compared to. Let's see. I guess we want to do if slot dot item is equal to null on the facility slot. Then we want to continue on to the next one because we're not going to be swapping that. So we are going to go through the whole thing. We might run into some empty slots. In that case, we'll just continue. So assuming we do have something here, we're going to be comparing it item to the player slots item that we're currently looking at. And also we want to, I guess this should actually be first. I'm going to make sure something can fit on there. Let's go ahead and fix that up here too. If the slot's already full, there's no point in comparing it. Right? So assuming it's not full and it is the same, this is not container slots anymore. This is change slots. And this is going to be S now. Right? Did you guys see my my mug cup? It's a big, nice big sturdy mug cup I got in the mail here the other day. I'm surprised how big it is actually. We got like 2 full cups of coffee in it. You can get that at, what is it? Streamlabs. I've got a link to that somewhere here. I forget where. I need to check out where those links are going in. Anyway. So we've marked the slot as changed. Now we want to see if the player slot item amount is capable of taking on our current slot dot item amount. If it is, we're just going to feed it all there. One of my cats is just being weird. This is once again the player slot dot item amount is now going to equal slot dot item amount item amount. Let's go ahead and rename this one to facility slot, just so we don't get confused. So we're attempting to add from the facility to the player slot. So this is why we do that, so we don't get confused. Player slot dot item amount plus facility slot item amount. And then we want to take the facility slot and reset it in that case. Failing that, we want to figure out the maximum amount that we can get on there. So this is actually going to be player slot now. Player slot dot item amount. How much can we fit? Meaning now the player slot dot item amount is going to equal the player slot dot item amount plus that fit amount, and the facility slot dot item amount is going to subtract that, which means since it's not breaking, it will then continue to loop through the rest of the inventory sub, see if it can find anything else to slot itself onto. Cat, what are you doing? BB John. BB John, come here. BB John. Sounds like he's jumping up the walls. So, let's see, yeah, that's the first loop. So now we've got this second loop we want to do here, again, just in reverse. I think I can just copy it from here. Let's see, we're going through it once and we're looking for stacks. Failing that, I want to go through once more and I want to look for empty slots. So in this case, yeah, you get into there. I mean, it's a tough call. You bring up a really interesting subject there, Stopnut, because like you get up to level like 20, 50, you get up to 50, and if you're wearing good equipment, you can actually go out to like level like 60, level 70. Maybe Art can comment on that. Like if you get up to level like 300, you can actually go up to level 400 and start fighting stuff. If your gear is all like enchanted and, you know, things, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And, you know, it's just kind of counterintuitive. People assume that at level 9 they're supposed to be fighting level 9 monsters rather than trying to sort of feel out. Is this beta? This is not. Yeah, this is beta. Okay. So you're level 420, but what level monsters do you fight? And there is a thing. Is it? $85 times 5 is okay. So you're not super far ahead of your level then, huh? I know some people end up fighting stuff quite a few levels above themselves. Like if you're in legendary gear that's all enchanted up and fancy. Yeah. Just keep my train of thought here for a minute more. Finish this up. That's true. Finding red leather is a lot harder than red trees or metal, I would think, yeah. How can we improve that? Not what I'm thinking about right now, unfortunately. Player slot item equals null, so if we do have an empty slot that we found, we're going to yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and do this. Player slot dot, let's do player slot dot item equals facility slot dot item dot copy as new. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, I do want to work on some of the math. Like, maybe. That's kind of why I'm tripping over my own words here, because it's like, I don't really want to go through and change everything, because it'll make the game something very different. But I do kind of want to make it more easy to understand somehow, but I might not really even do that, depending on... Like what I was trying to show there just a second ago is I do have a thing that shows the armor calculation. If you mouse over your armor, it'll show how much it expects you to be receiving if you're fighting a monster your own level, because damage is level based. So I want to have a thing that did I not? I forget. I already closed it too quick there. You know, because the game more or less knows how much a monster at any level is going to have for its health, you know, more or less. And so it's able to, yeah, I don't have mouse overs for those. See, I want to put a mouse over here. Here we go, offensive rating. I think these are the big ones. So my offensive rating is level 125 because I'm wearing a tier 0 club, stone club right now, which has 0.4 damage. But I do have a bunch of strength and stuff, so my offensive rating is 125. However, I'm wearing tier 50 legendary armor. And I've got agility and stamina and strength all a bunch up. So my defensive rating is 678. So this is kind of a general sort of almost like a recommendation of what your leveling capabilities should be at. This takes into account, I think, mostly how much damage you do, and then how much armor you have, and I think hit points too. So I think I've got a sword in here somewhere. No? Maybe I dropped it somewhere. Let's give myself a sword real quick. Hold on a sec. So see, my offense rating is at 125. If I put my sword on here, only goes up to 174. That's not what I was expecting. Level 0. Are these guys all, these are all level 0. I don't quite remember how this calculates itself completely, to be honest. But anyway, that was the intention behind those. Wonder why I don't have more damage when I've got so much. Well, I'm wearing heavy armor. Anyway. Pay no attention to my equipment behind the curtain. You saw nothing. Anyway, this is almost done. 1 second. If player slot dot item amount plus is going to be less, then we're going to add to it completely. We're going to reset the facility slot. Change slot has already been marked. Otherwise, we're going to move as much as we can onto here and continue to loop. And we're only going to break when we are capable of doing this completely. That should work good. Update container slots is not what we want. Update facility slots we don't need. We don't need you. We need update facility details, item details, update inventory. This is now update inventory slots, which does not use that, but uses changed slots. Right? Okay, I think that is all correct. Just want to change these. And now all I need to do is, when those buttons are called, we need to go to, let's see, player script controller dot client dot player inventory dot command empty facility. There we go. And we need to do player script controller dot Player inventory dot linked facility. Net ID. And same thing, but with command fill facility. Like that. Okay. Assuming we don't have any errors, let's give that a try. I do want to get traders back in too. I just don't want them to be buying stuff the way they used to. So it used to be prices were based on the level, tier, and rarity of anything and everything. So you could go out, find like tier 200, like, you know, here what art's at tier 85. So you'd give them some tier 85 resources, and it just had to math that out over time. So like you know, it'd give you like 50 platinum just because you're giving them high tier stuff. I think a better approach is that you get treasure drops from monsters randomly, you know, and then you can sell those drops to traders. So like they don't have any intrinsic value to you per se, but then you can sell them to traders, and they don't necessarily scale. It's just wherever you are. You might get a legendary bit of treasure, you might get a common bit of treasure, but regardless of their level and tier, they'll sell to traders for a certain amount. And maybe like a tier 5 bit of treasure you can't sell to a tier 4 trader or something like that. You know, maybe something like that would be useful too, but then just kind of have it so that money doesn't spiral out of hand and you're like, oh, I've got 70 million platinum, because that just ended up getting weird for some players. Kind of like Light does now, you know, it doesn't scale up infinitely. Otherwise, Art would have a billion Light. He probably has plenty anyway. So, we've got a storage chest over here. It's now got an empty button. It did not spawn a fill button properly. What happened there? Facility details UI. If can fill. I don't like that these are all. Let's call this what? What is this? Empty button. These are all in their own scopes. They don't actually need to be. Oh, and I always forget I can just do my scope bound rename here. What is this? Empty button. And this one's going to be fill button. But anyway, what was it? Fill button did not spawn properly, right? Empty worked, fill didn't spawn. Yeah, I said that right. Sounded like spill didn't fawn in my head for some reason. Can fill, it can, right? We're looking at a storage chest, so it should be true. We're going to instantiate an object button. We're going to put it, that should be under actions 1. No, this should be actions 2. This should be actions 1. Empty and fill. Yeah, I think empty should be on the left. So that's 1, this is 2, and then this is also going to be at 0. So I messed that up a little bit there, and then if we're spawning them, all of that, size delta. Good, good, good. Let's recompile that and look at that once more. I'm changing my schedule up a little bit here too, because I just really wasn't doing a good job of upholding trying to stream 8 hours a day. So I've switched it to Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 12, and I'm not going to do a break at 10. So I'm just going to do a straight 3-hour stream, which seems like you guys tend to go to bed by the time I'm wrapping it up for lunch. So then in the PM, I'll just focus on developing stuff without blabbering nonstop. Okay, so we got an empty button, we got a fill button. Let's try empty. Empty looks like it works. Let's try fill. Fill's gonna work too. This is a big storage chest, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 5, which is what? I don't even know. 16, 32, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 4 is 40. So that looks like it is working properly. Looks like it's reorganizing things, each swapping. So for dragging it from the inventory, it's dragging it from the top. But when I drag it from the storage chest, it drags it from the bottom. I think that is kind of not fun how it does that, though it did kind of make sense that it would empty from the bottom. Let's go ahead and switch that back to not looping backwards like it does here for both of these. Right, yeah. I equals 0, I equals less than fill empty facility. This is facility dot facility slots dot count, and this is going forward. So this should add itself onto tombstones, storage chests, item drops, monster drops, monoliths, all kinds of stuff. Did I click play there? Did. All of these guys, where'd it go? I had those methods up there, didn't I? What are these? Rename. Whatever. Can empty, can fill. So I kind of want to test. I want to test a redding vat with water in it, and I want to make sure that monster drop doesn't have fill showing up on it. So anyway, oh, and I don't want these buttons there anymore, right? So fill, empty, fill, empty, and now they're going in the same order. Let's say that I have something on me, like my boots here, and I do empty. We've got 1 left over. If I do that, we've got 1 left over. Okay, so that all looks like it's working as expected. So let's go and put all this stuff away. Need to get rid of those buttons. And let's get a monster just to double check. How those buttons are showing up for him. Excuse me, sir. We've got an empty button that did not work. Okay. He's not a facility. That makes sense. I think he is a facility. Let's take a peek. Where was that? No reference object exception. Let's see. He himself is a monster drop, which is inherent of the facility class, right? It is. So, facility type monster drop, what happened? This is all happening on the network, so it gets a little bit convoluted. Doesn't actually often want to show me. There it did though. Okay, so empty facility 2495. 2495 when we did What happened? Facility details UI 455. That's when I hit the button. Linked facility. Let's follow the trail here when interactable drop gets interacted with. I'm going to interact with server facility. I am going to set up the linked facility on the server side. I'm going to target interact with facility, which is going to send it down to the client, who's going to find it, grab the facility, and set the linked facility up locally, and open up the tab UI and open up the facility details UI like so. It's going to reset that even once more, so that should be set up properly. It's going to refresh, which is going to spawn those buttons. I'm then clicking on that button to try and empty it using the linked facility's net ID. It is, of course, spawned, so it's got a network ID of 519. And we get to here, and for some reason 2495, I don't think that's actually what errored. Did we get null reference exception? Gonna have to toss some debugs in there, I think, because it doesn't actually give the always proper lines when you're dealing with this network code. Network identity, network spawn, facility ID. This didn't show up. This didn't show up. Didn't get either of these errors. Just do debug log ni found. That's network identity. And then let's do facility found. And let's just try that once more. Alright, we got a bad guy right here, just waiting for us. And empty. Did he not have anything on him? Found, that worked. I didn't actually see if he might have not had something on him there. This guy doesn't either. I've got to find someone with something on him, I think. Plenty of monsters to be had, thankfully. Well, the moon's out. We need to add a second and third moon here someday. Okay, so we got something here. I'm going to clear, and I'm going to click empty. Oh, it worked fine. Why did that not work the first time? What's going on here? Empty. What was that error that I got? Of course, now it doesn't want to do it now that I'm looking at it. Empty. Well, I mean, it should be working. Looks like it's working now. That was weird, though. It gave me an error there one time. that's what the beta's for, I guess. So yeah, fill is not showing up as expected. We can only empty. There's an error. Object reference. Let's do clear here. Then it said NI found, facility found. So it's something after that. And then it worked the second time. It did say that it got past these though. See, the timestamp is 2335. So obviously our line code here that it's trying to tell us is not correct. Player inventory 2495. 2495. It's still showing right here, but even though these guys are printing out, so it doesn't know what it's talking about. Let's see. Facility slots count. This should be fine. Player slots. Inventory slots dot count. This might not be totally what I want to do. I want to do what is it? Get inventory slot count. And this is basically just what kind of backpack are we wearing is all that really cares about. Rather than grab that a bunch of times, let's go ahead and do int inventory slot count equals get inventory slot count. And this is, fraction of a nanosecond faster, but it just bothers me when things are being called multiple times for no reason. So that should be fine. Player slot will grab it. If the item is not null. Party-chan, hey, what are you doing? Quit sticking your paws in the printer. What are you doing? Wonder what is causing that. Player interface, update inventory slots, change slots. Something capable of throwing an error. Facility slot item is null. Continue, so that should be fine. The other one is player slot. If it's not null, otherwise we're not even going to bother with it. Here we're only looking at it if the item is null. Hana, どうしたん? Wife has allergies. 2時? いいよ。いつでも. Sneezing up a storm. Let's see. Do we want to just add some debugs in here? Try and figure this out. It's really weird that it only happens sometimes. Let's just go crazy. Facility slots. Facility slot plus I. And then let's do player slot S. And we're going to want to do that again here. I did want to look at that monolith too. I didn't clean it out, so it should still be cleared with some stuff in it, seeing that the autosave kicked in there while I was looking at all that. So that's working. I want to add a item template editor. Hi, kitty. Button to the creative interface. And I want to make sure that those workshop folders are working properly. Because some people were saying, and I tried it too, it's I should have some stuff in here, but it's not showing up. And it's not showing up in here either, right? No. So anyway, so this guy should have, he's got some stuff, and I can click empty on him, and he had a problem. Hi kitty, what are you doing? You want to come on my lap? Ah, good kitty. What are you doing? So let's see here. The loop started up. Made it through the first pass. We're on player slot 2, number 13. Player slot 12 was the last one that seemed to happen. This one made it to player slot 13 and had a problem. And it looks like it didn't copy anything over, even though I do have some tier 0 timber here. Let's try that again. Yeah, it did copy the timber over. It never made it to the updates though. So it had problems copying this over to an empty slot for some reason. Why would that be? It should have made it to slot 13. This is 0. This is going to be 10, 11, 12, 13. So it made it to player slot 13. Found the item to be null, assumedly. Attempted to copy the non-null facility slot. Player slot dot item amount plus facility slot dot item amount is less than or equal to the max size. This should be true. So player slot dot item amount is now going to equal player slot dot item amount plus facility slot dot item amount. That's a little silly. It's really just this, but that shouldn't throw an error either way. It should have just been 0. And then facility slot dot reset client. Is our client null on the server? Shouldn't be. Client equals get component player client. That sounds like a possibility though. Let's double check that. Cat, I can't let you sit in front of the keyboard. Sorry. You can sit on my lap, but you can't sit in front of the keyboard. You go sit in front of the window. Let's see. Resetting and reset. The rest of this should be fine. Fit equals max stack size versus the amount, even though the and this is just going to be 0. I mean, the logic here is if the item amount, which should be 0 since our item is null, so for 0 plus this is that means we're greater than the max stack size if we get to here. So basically we just want to do player slot dot item amount equals game settings dot max stack size. I don't need that. And like that. Okay. And we've got our handy monolith right in front of us that hasn't saved yet, so we can just repeat the same steps on him. And I should actually be able to look at the player client variable in the inspector over here, which actually you can't really see. Sorry about that. Well, you can see the inspector. You can't see the hierarchy. So let's just do this first again. So we did our empty. We got an error. Didn't even get to reset. Didn't get to our resetting call, so that throws that theory away. We made it to here. Player slot 213. We made it to a new slot. Player slot dot item equals null. Are you telling me that the player slot is null? I don't believe that that should be possible. Changed slots is not null. It's made right up there. Surely the player slot is not null. We've already determined that this guy's not null. He should be able to copy his new fine. Let's just, go crazy though. Copying and copied. What is that, an I? Just to see where the problem lies. No harm in extra debugs. Every time. Yeah, it's weird. Copying method has broken it. So player slot dot item, facility slot dot item copy is new. We're going to take all of this and original schematic copy is new. Prefix copy is new. Can't sit in front of the keyboard, kitty, sorry. Crafting skills applied. A bunch of this stuff is probably null, but it shouldn't matter. Like enchantments. Let's do some things here. Debug log 1. Debug log 2. Three, 4, 5, and 6. Who's upset? And I know there's probably no world-class programmers watching this, but they would be very angry at me for my debug approaches if they were watching. But that's what happens when you teach yourself how to program through YouTube. And, you know, we do what we can. So we'll load it up once more here, and a bunch of stuff happened. And now I'm going to empty, and we're going to find it has errored on, right after copying. So player inventory, copying, player slot dot item equals facility slot dot item dot copy as new. Why is that not acceptable? There's ways to set breakpoints like this and then go through the code like one at a time in runtime. Like you can have it step through each line of code so you can look at them individually, like have it pause here and then tell it to run a line, and then have it'll error wherever it's erroring, and then you can like look at the variables in like a debug window somewhere, somehow. You know, and there's really advanced, smart ways to go about some of this, but I use threaded networking stuff here, which is all wrapped in its own sort of threaded network reader. That's why I get all these weird messages prior to the actual debug, and it's not giving the correct line, and it's just complicated stuff, really. I don't mind doing it this way at all. Like, I know sometimes people are like, why don't you do it this way? It's like, this is just the way that I know how to do it, and someday I might figure some better way out, but this works, and I just do what I do. I got a buddy that's he's not a game developer, but he's a software developer, and every once in a while I ask him a serious question. He fills me in on some, you know, business practices that, because I just don't work for a company. I don't have a superior or anything like that. It's just self-taught, but it works. But what is going on here? Is this getting set to null somewhere? We know that the items, the slot, well, that doesn't matter anyway. We're trying to copy it. We're trying to copy as new item equals new item. None of this should trigger null NREs, and we're not even getting to this. So I want to say that it thinks that this is null. Which I suppose that's possible. Let's see. This break is only going to break out of here. Assuming we've reset the facility slot, that's still going to loop down onto here. So let's go ahead and say, I guess we want to add this down here, huh? If facility slot dot item equals null, then we don't need to continue looking at this stuff because we have reset, right? I guess that's the problem. I just didn't think that through quite. We're doing two loops, one to look for stacking and one to look for just complete replacement. But if the stack loop actually finishes without any need for a complete stack, we're going to end up with these gale winds again. We're going to end up with a facility slot that has already gone null. So this should work now, I believe. And there it is. Okay. So, yeah, I just, sometimes stuff gets a little hairy. Lots to keep track of. So I can get rid of all of these debugs. And we had some in here as well. I can just undo all of those. And we should be good. I did want to try redding vat too, to make sure that water doesn't get thrown into the backpack in the event that there is water in the redding vat. And then I want to move on to looking at fixing those workshop links and adding a item template editor button to creative mode. So I think most people don't even know that exists. We need to update that so that what? Potions work. Anyway, let's get back to our redding vat, which we did put one down over here. I don't have any water. Are there any stocks nearby? I would want a well, actually. Do I have any stone? I don't have enough stone. And I think I added wells to the masonry tree now, so I don't actually know how to make one. Just going to give myself one real quick here. And I do have a watering can. Okay, so just going to plop this guy down, and I'm going to open this guy. I already had some water in him anyway. And this confuses people a lot, I know, but if you click and drag and right click, you can transfer the water in there. This is actually a refining facility. So he doesn't have an empty fill. He's not just a plain facility. This is a refining station. So I think that is acceptable. Let's see. Is there any other things we need to peek at? Storage chest, monster drop, tier. These are all refining stations, so they're not actually going to show up, which I think is fine. Just got to right click on them. Treasure chest, transmogrifier. We could try that out. Item drop, tombstone. Tombstone is the one that was most requested, but that should work just the same as the storage chest. I don't have a transmogrifier. Un momento, por favor. Now I do. Put him down wherever. And yeah, he's his own special UI, so he doesn't show up either. So, should be good. Let's just go ahead and make sure that the tombstone does work as expected. So I'm just going to hit myself for a ton of damage so that I die. And we've got a tombstone now. And I can take everything. Cool. And it'll go away. Okay, so that should all be working fine. So, moving on. I want to open up the main UI. Close the loading UI. Open the inventory UI. This is not the inventory. Well, let's see. I do want this, but I want to add a new button. So we've got all of these buttons up here. And I'm thinking I'm going to add a button or 2 or 3 down here. These are all center anchored. This guy's stretch anchored, huh? So he's, that could actually cause problems, couldn't it? No? We'll have to mess with that a little bit. But for example, let's see. I want to duplicate a button. And I'm going to call this what? What is it called? It's the item modding UI. Item template editor. So what do I want to call that? Item, I guess just item editor button. And I want this guy, well, I guess for now I could just put him over here, really. I was thinking I'd put him down here. Can I fit item editor? I can. He should be at minus 49.6. Don't know how that got there. And let's say for, these guys aren't really spaced properly. It doesn't look like. Town is 4 over. X is, must have been the guys that I hired that messed with these. I never leave stuff at these weird numbers like this. Let's see. The anchors are on the right here. They should be on the left over here. They are. Pivot at 0. Let's put this guy at 5. Let's put skills at, yeah, you should be anchor 1, and I'm going to put you at minus 5. So that's a gap of 10. So now this guy's 145, and let's put all of these at minus 50. Because that bothers me. So I'm going to put another 10 here. So this guy wants to be at 155. Terraforming is then going to be 155 plus 150. So the item editor is going to be at 305 plus 150. Skills is at minus 5. So this guy's going to be at, is it 155, right? And 305. That kind of stuff just bothers me. Sorry, that's unimportant. But anyway. So now we've got our item editor button. We need to add to the inventory. I think it's the main UI. We want to add a item editor button, and it's going to be wanting to be turned on and off. This really isn't the best way to do this, but we'll stick to it, as that's how everything else is going on. Item editor button. Item editor button. Get component. This is only going to happen in the first frame of starting up. This is now going to be a new main UI button called item editor equals 20. Item editor. It's going to be false. Starting out, meaning disabled. And it's also going to be turned on and off right here. So, only if game settings dot play mode, I don't think it's play mode. What is this? Creative? What is it called? It is play mode, isn't it? Play mode is equal to play mode dot creative. Only in that case am I going to turn the item editor button on. Otherwise, he's always going to remain off. Hopefully this will bring more interest and make it more accessible for players to be able to access the item editor. I think most people don't even know that it exists. But I would kind of like to request some community assistance one of these days. See if we can get people. We had Arcanius working on some stuff at one point. He kind of disappeared after that. So now we've got this button here. It doesn't do anything yet though. Good point, good point. Let's see. That's gonna be, we've got a switch somewhere here for what buttons get pushed. Here we go. Let's put it after terraforming. Case, item editor. We're gonna close the UI and let's see, what is that called? Client player interface dot item template editor dot what? Turn on enabled dot game object dot set active to true, maybe? Is that all it needs? Toggle UI, there we go, that's what I wanted. And we don't need this. Let's just do item template editor dot toggle, whoops, toggle UI. That should be enough. Let's give it a try once more. My creative startup bool was not working. Let's take a peek at that real quick. Find creative. Somewhere down here. If start creative, creative clicked. Creative care, world name equals creative, I think it's creative world and creative world. Let me double check that real quick. I accidentally named him creative world. Lowercase, creative worlds, creative world. No, we're actually working with creative. Okay, so that's fine here. This is world. I think that will let me. Just saves me the time of having to click all those buttons every time I try to jump in to test something. So I can now click Start Creative. You can actually see that. I've got this this whole Start UI thing I've got set up so I can click Fake Server, Force Local, Start Host, Start Client. Normally I've got it set to Start Single, so it just jumps into single player. This way I'm going to do Start Creative, and it should just save me the trouble of, again, having to click single player creative, click the creative character I want, click the creative world I want. Hi, kitty. Oh, that didn't work. See, it's not getting the right world or something, though. Stats UI, what happened there? 287. Stats UI. Current save name. Character selected, creative world. Something didn't go right there. need to do this stuff, I guess. Let's call this creative. And this is also creative, and this is, let's see, saved world path. That's not correct. Saved world path is server. Saved creative world path. I do have that. Okay. Saved creative world path plus starting world data holder. Blah 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 blah. And whoops. This one. Whoops. Saved creative world path. And what else did we need? We need to change this to be creative. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, I believe so. A little bit of a sidetrack, but it makes things easier for me to test when that's working properly. I really want to focus on this. I want to, but I also want to there's a few things I need to get done first. Gotta get water breathing potions in. Oh, it's still not working, shoot. Alright, well, I'll do it manually for now, because that's annoying. Just means I have to click the buttons, it's not a big deal. Creative world, oh it is creative world. Okay, let me try that once real quick, hold on. Creative world, it's got a capital. World name is creative world. Saved world, that shouldn't matter because it is there. World name, character selected, world, starting world, creative world. Save new world, creative world, should be fine. Creative clicked, character selected. Character is called creative world. Do it. Make me happy. But yeah, I want to do breathing potions, and then once I get breathing potions in, which is easy, you know. Oh, and there was something else somebody wanted me to look at. What was that? Start creative. We were talking about something yesterday in Discord. General. Yeah, it was the workshop stuff. And he was having a problem with buildings, but that was working fine. That we tried. Oh, and the... let me write that down real quick. Cats are always knocking my pen on the ground. Dang it. What was it? Was it armor sets? Who did it for me here? SGIK tried, but there's a problem with skills for the armor went above legendary. So it's armor. Well, I don't even need to write that down. Let me just... Okay, creative did load properly. Item editor showed up, and that's working as expected. So that is fine and done. Good. I'm going to need to add a button for that, I believe. Or what do we need? Because right now we've got player input. And where is it? It's just set up to go straight to the... item template editor if I is pushed in creative, but I know somebody might be using the I key, and that would totally disrupt it. So I don't actually want to do that. But anyway, one thing I needed to peek at here real quick was resources, item templates, armor. All of these guys are now not known by default. Can be learned here, and they need a max. Let's see, that's going to be under their skill template dealie. Under skills, skill template generator, or is it still skill template crafting? No, it's not this one. It's skill template generator crafting. Generate skill temple gets fed to by the item template generator in the event that was it not this one? What am I missing here? Skill template recipe generator? Oh, okay, I need to just look at the item template generator. Item template manager. Skill template generates skill template. If it can be learned, it feeds it to here. What is this? Skill template manager. I was just looking at the wrong one. But it's not setting up the maximum. Is there no maximum? Isn't there a skill template crafting? Skill code. This is a skill template. Should have a max level here that's not getting set properly. Doesn't look like it's doing that anywhere here. Max level. Not seeing it. Who else calls you? Generate skill template. Only the item template manager does. Okay, so he just needs... Let's see. We want to add to the item templates themselves. Skill trees can be learned. Skill tree tier public int max level equals 0. And we're going to be just passing straight to we're passing the whole template in here. So now the template dot max level equals item template dot max level. And yeah, I do want to look at the workshop stuff, art. SGISK pointed this out though, that the new skills were not getting their max level set up properly. That includes some of the alchemy guys too, I believe. So only things that are being used to generate skill tree skill buttons, which is cloth, leather, and iron. So these guys can be learned. Only the ones that are checked for can be learned. Rest of those should not be. Yeah, alchemy, these guys are doing it too though. Can be learned here, see? Minor health potion. We did add these all so that they use an ingredient, the stock, so that they can increase their rarity. Yeah, what did you say? -2, wind chill -30. No gracias. Have a good night. Get up early to defrost those windows. These guys are gonna also want to go to 5. These guys are all gonna want to just be, well, both of you are gonna be 1. I think all the rest of these are 5. I had to drive through a storm to the dentist yesterday, and as soon as I sat down in the chair, a rainbow came out. So it was only raining while I was driving. It's very nice. I think that's all that makes use of this at the moment. Consumables, no. What else did I moved some of the facilities over there, didn't I? Deconstruction bench is not one of them. Enchanting is. Not using this guy though, huh? Are any of them using the can be learned? No, it doesn't look like it. So I think we're good. Jewelry, furniture, resources, tools. Okay, should be fine. No teeth. You got the metal robot cage that you can attach dentures to. That's actually a thing now. I think a lot of I don't know if it's the metal that they do, but celebrities will get just all fake teeth here in Japan because they're just constant. I mean, they're just white and beautiful, and all in a row. They look like perfect teeth, even though they're not actually teeth. Yeah. Black mayonnaise is a comedian duo here in Japan. I'm pretty sure he's one of these guys that got the full. These are all kind of old pictures, but he got like the full fake teeth because he used to have bad teeth. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just making it up. Whatever. Yeah, I had really long roots too. I've only had one root canal so far though. And I didn't have any cavities when I went in yesterday. I'm pretty good about brushing my teeth. I don't eat a lot of sweets or anything either. So we fixed the armor skills. Fixed tombstone, take all. We fixed item editor button. Okay, so let's take a peek at the workshop code, because that is not working as intended, I don't think. My mom's dentist, when we were kids, root canaled all of her teeth. Like every 6 months he'd be like, oh, gotta do another tooth. And he'd like charge her $600, And he was actually arrested when I me and my sister as kids hated that place because they were just mean, and they just like rammed the floss down into your teeth. So as soon as we were able to pick our own dentists, we said we're not going back to that place anymore, and we both found dentists that we liked on our own. But my mom kept going there. We kept telling her, the place is weird. You shouldn't go there anymore. There's lots of better places. And then eventually she did stop going there. But then like 10 years later, he was arrested on like a class action lawsuit. Like a bunch of people got together and sued him for malpractice because he was just ripping everybody off, chopping their teeth up. And that's what he did to my mom. He took like most of her teeth out, even though they were perfectly healthy. It's a bummer. Don't tell her I said that on air. So, we're done with you. Well, I did kind of want to maybe... I'll leave that open so we can think about it. We're done with you. What are we looking at? Building UI. Load, structure save, structure load, building UI structure, I believe it's this one. So say we on enable, button click, save, load button clicked. We've got load premades. What is this? That doesn't look like something I would write. What does that even mean? Why is there an underscore there? Equals load workshop. Why would you do that? Somebody else put that there? That's weird. I don't know why you would do that. Awaitable. Okay. That makes a little more sense. Could just disable the error. Well, I guess that is yeah, I probably looked that up on, what's it called? Stack Exchange. So what we're trying to do here is to query Steamworks to get, and I don't actually want to do this, I don't think. I just want to go to that folder. For each item entry in the returns, maybe I do have to do that though. Read all text entry directory / entry title. This does look correct. So let's see. I'm subscribed currently to a couple. We're not starting up though because we're in the editor. Let's take a peek at how this works for me in the client. I've also got storage chest socket icons that I need to look at. If I do load and I go to workshop, yeah, it's not finding them properly. So I think for the purpose of testing, I'm gonna have to go to, I cleared my console there, Steam Manager, and I'm gonna turn this off. So that it loads in the editor so we can work with this properly. And let's see, get page async. I'm gonna go ahead and debug.log, the caps is on. We want to do results dot value dot total count. What is this stuff? This is a Steamworks wrapper. Results page. Huh? Okay. Workshop results count. So I'm expecting like 2 because I am currently subscribed to how do we get there? Workshop. This isn't publicly advertised as a thing yet, so not everybody knows about it. But if we can get it working, I can start advertising it. So I'm subscribed to this guy, which means that in my F game files, Steam apps, workshop content folder, 67260, which is Solace Crafting, I've got these guys. I don't know which one of those this is. I think if I open it, it shows me. Yeah, that's the one I made. Here is the storehouse with crane. So it's in there. Steam should know about it. Should give me those results. There's actually 3 in here. I'm actually looking for structures, so it should only be 2. And then it should be going through those. If it's subscribed and installed, let's go ahead and... Oh, I've got a debug log set up already there. Let me see if that triggered. Come on. I was just launching the client, so I should have player log. Let's see if that showed up at the end there. File not found. Stopped client. Workshop import. Ignoring duplicate. No, it didn't debug that. It's almost like it thinks I'm not subscribed to anything. I am attempting to debug it right here though, so let's see what happens. When I click load workshop. So since I disabled the Steam Manager from not engaging in the editor, as soon as I click play here, it's going to think that this is Solace Crafting. And if I try to exit Steam, it's going to force quit Unity, which can be a problem, which is why I always turn that off. I should probably make that a little bool down here somewhere so I can turn that on or off. But in any case, we can dive into creative, or no, let's just go to single player. It will now Steam Manager start. So now it's going to think that I'm playing Solace Crafting right now. Workshop results count 2, but it didn't get past that. Result value total count. These are the entries. Result.value dot entries. What is cached data? No, that's not it. So we're doing this if check here. Let's just first do the entry title plus entry.isSubscribe. Oops. entry.isSubscribed, because this is what we're checking. And also entry.isInstalled. Don't actually know if that is what we want. So let's double check that those are going off correctly. I'm pretty sure I followed some kind of half-assed tutorial to get to this point. There aren't really tutorials available. I haven't looked at this in 6 months, so there might be now. This is built by Facepunch, the developers of Rust. This is their Steamworks wrapper that they made public for everybody, which is super nice of them. My phone just made a noise. It's my mom. It says they were totally snowed in. Road's clear now. Should be gone in a few days. Having fun with the snow in Seattle. Glad I'm not there. I died, so all my inventory's in there. Not a big deal. Load workshop. Crane came through as true and true, but only the crane. Still though, if the crane did show up as true, we should be making it further into that set of checks there. Why am I still getting an error? Is this getting called prior to setup for some reason? What's going on here? I'm not in creative anymore, am I? No, shouldn't be. It's weird. I'll have to look at that. But anyway, crane true came through, so we should show that the entry is subscribed and the entry is installed because it came through true. That means that we should be able to read that. Let's debug log this whole thing. It should give us the proper file title. Almost like this is not happening properly. How come that debug didn't go off? If these are true, both of those are true, we should make it in here. Entry subscribed and entry is installed. True. And I want to watch for that stats UI. Oh, you know, I'll bet I know what's going on. I left that stuff open, didn't I? When I mess with the main UI, I need to close it back up to its original state. Yeah. So we need to close all of this stuff down once more. You guys are all off. And the loading UI is on. That was my fault. Okay. That should fix the error. And again, we're expecting to see workshop folders being set properly. Which really, I think that's all that we need to look at. I mean, just go through there and find anything of interest in the folder. But still a little weird that this is not working. Storehouse with crane. Oh, that's got some slashes in different directions here. That's not going to work. that my fault? I think that needs to be a double slash because that, yeah. It's funny that it's not going to give any sort of an error for that. Let's try that quick though. Like I say, we can just access this folder on disk without talking to Steam about it. But still not correct. Did I not save that? What happened there? Entry directory plus entry title. These are all backwards. This guy's coming out as forwards for some reason still. Oh. Well, I forgot to just change that, but still should be reading it, and that should give us a JSON file. And we should be getting to this debug, but we're not. And we're not getting any errors either, which is the weird part. If you can't read it, you should at least give me some kind of error. What I really wanted to see was actually the JSON here. But the debug wasn't triggering at all, so something's getting caught up here. I suppose we should do something like debug log file dot, I think there's like exists, and this is what I'm looking for here. Because it certainly exists on my end. This is uncompressed. We could compress that down quite a bit, but I think modders might prefer that those are not compressed, so they can go in there and mess with it if they want to. Just need it to recognize those. Does not exist. Okay, so what are we getting wrong here? I'm looking at F game files, Steam apps, workshop, content 670.260 237251841 slash storehouse with crane. Is there a space after that? No. How come it doesn't see that? Came back as false. I'm inclined to believe that these need to be forward slashes. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? C# file exists. Let's take a peek at an example. They're backslashes. Not working. Could be a permissions problem. Justify the read with file. Just read the file. That's if it fails the exception could give you more information. Open read. Well, we could try that. Seems like it's not giving me a error because this is a task. But let's try it. File.openRead. This guy here minus all the parentheses. File stream. We can try that as suggested by good old Stack Exchange. File permissions. And I'm not using the latest version of this, unfortunately. Let's do Face Punch, Steamworks, Workshop, Tutorial. I don't think it exists. Oh, there's some new stuff from 2020. Oh, sad kitty. What's the matter? One Wheel Studio. He's got a blog on it too. That's cool. Wikifacepunch.com, Steamworks. They were working on this last I looked at it. Maybe it works now. Installing dedicated servers, interfaces, classes. Frequently asked questions. Yeah, not helpful. Server, workshop, code snippets, listing workshop items. Get the query. Item types, conditional pages. It's different. Like I say, I'm not using the most recent version of this. So, this is kind of all the same though. Setting up the back end, downloading. With tag, get page async. This is letting someone actually subscribe in-game, updating in-game, deleting. Kikoiryo, sorry. Anyway, let's see what we got. Load, workshop. Gets to false, doesn't throw an error. Wonder if I can put this into a try. I think it's the async task here that's causing it to not properly throw. An error, so we would like to see that. Let's add one here. Open success. Failing all of this, like I say, we can just go through the folder here, because we do know... Meow. Meow. Hey, what are you doing? You bored? Meow, meow. What are you doing? Hey. What are you doing? This is all about downloading and yada yada, not necessarily importing like we're trying to do here. Oh, there we did get file not found. Could not find file. Interesting. Open success. So yeah, it made it through there. So we do want to do try catch wraps, I guess, for most of that. File not found exception. Storehouse with crane. I'm just a little confused as to why you would say that, because I'm looking right at it. It's called Sorehouse with crane, though. What's up with that? How does that happen? Is that, is that her fault? Is that Claire's fault? I'm going to have to ping Claire on that. Let's see what happens if, I'm going to close this down. I'm going to unsubscribe. Now, what is that going to do? Is that going to get rid of it? It's not going to get rid of it. Okay, let's delete it once. I'm going to resubscribe. Still thinks that I'm playing Solace Crafting because the editor is open. So I'm gonna go ahead and, I mean, it's not here, right? Good. Let's close this down so it thinks that Unity, or I'm not still playing it. Is it gonna update now? Library. Subscribed. Not seeing it. Downloads. Steamworks. Not seeing it. But I am subscribed. What does that mean? Did you put it somewhere else? What's going on here? Storehouse with crane. Subscribed. Subscribe to download. Okay. If I go to Solace Crafting, and I can manage local files, it knows it's here, so it should be putting them here. Content. But it's not re-downloading it. Let's go ahead and exit Steam and start it up again. Not sure what's going on here. I want to see this refresh though. And if it can show me. Like, it's not showing that it downloaded it though even. Doesn't it show yeah, refresh here isn't doing anything either. Common redistributables. What is this? That's like the framework though. That's not the file itself, right? Yeah, that's not the file. Maybe because I was in game, it got confused. Maybe it already thinks it's downloaded. Workshop, Storehouse with crane, unsubscribed. Nope, my download's updated there. See here, workshop content, ready to play. That was supposedly unsubscribing. No, now it's subscribed again. But I'm still not seeing this. I want to unsubscribe. Okay. Now I want to subscribe. And my downloads went off again. And now we see it. Okay, that was weird. I guess it just didn't like me doing that while it was running. And it's called Sorehouse. So yeah, I think this is I think this is a typo from Claire here. I mean, that's just a bummer that it can't figure that out on its own. Let's see, she shared that in here, I think, right? I didn't actually post it in there.どうした忘れちゃったのそう、1時まで休めないのだからまあ Oh, sorry, that was not clear. Who was that? Oh, Mary Hell. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody's got all these different names. I don't remember what her name is. Mary Hell. Let me see. I think they probably said that themselves in here before. Nope. Well, I guess I should just try this myself. Well, but so yeah, let's see. So the entry title is probably just not what we're looking for. What can't we get like entry directory entry dot like file entry owner score stats tag title URL votes up vote down. Title is not necessarily the file name is what I'm getting at here, I think. Entry dot changelog created description directory, we've got that. Download amount edit equals ID. The actual ID of this file. That's the same as the directory, isn't it? Is downloading, appending as friend only, installed, private, public, subscribed, comment, favorite, second subscriptions, owner, score, size, stats, subscribe, tags, title. Title seems like what we're looking for. Updated. I guess I'll leave a comment on here. Well, and I've seen her post this before. Dang it. I think it's under screenshots. Let me look at that. No, that was Claire. That's why I thought. Oh, White Dragon. Maybe it was. Maybe. This is back in December though. It's gone a ways too far here, I think. Yeah. Where have I seen that before? Might have been White Dragon. I think I'm thinking about it though. Wasn't in here. These are all pretty old. Shoot. I don't think I'm gonna find it in here. Let me just peek real quick. Bella. No. It is Bella. Arcanius was with a crane. It was Bella. Okay. I'll try making my own typo though and see how it goes. Okay, so let's see here. We need to start this back up. Might actually want to be doing this in client. Let's go ahead and try it a little bit in the client first. Until I push play, it's not going to recognize this as running. Steam isn't going to pick up on it anyway, as long as I don't contact Steam from within the editor. So let's see here. I'm just going to do whatever. No, I got stuff on my corpse here actually, don't I? And I don't have the patch in yet, so this stuff hasn't updated to my QoL. But let's just do a test. Let's call it workshop test. Workshop test. Okay. And we'll just give it like a wood post. I wanted to give it a post for some reason. Why don't I see post? Those are not alphabetical. It's a bummer. So now I'm going to select it. I don't need power, sorry. I'm clicking all the buttons. I want to save this, and I want to upload it to Workshop. Let's call it Workshop Test. I'm going to save and upload to Workshop. The title is going to be, let's call it Workshop Test. Testing description. And it's public. Let's go ahead and make we'll go ahead and make it private for now. And we'll do an upload. That worked, okay. Workshop upload success. We should add a little warning there that it's trying to upload. Hold on a second. Good. Now, let's save. And we're going to find nothing in here. I'm going to close. Now I should be able to go to Workshop. Most recent. Does this take a while to show up? files you've posted. There we go. Workshop. Okay, it's called Workshop Test now. So I want to subscribe to this. Downloading. There it is. Workshop Test. Now, but the title. So maybe this is my own code. I'm using the title of the structure rather than the title of the person input, maybe? Let's see if that downloaded properly. And we don't have all our debugs working, so let's go ahead and do that in the editor. So we can get all those debugs moving now that we've uploaded one. Get all the new data. And it's gonna error immediately on that one. Oh, this one worked though. Open success. True, true. I don't know how that one got mislabeled there somehow. Did I do something wrong? Or, you know, like how did she mistake that? Structure name workshop test. It looked like it did use the title properly there though. Maybe she edited it in here. Edit title and description. Yeah, maybe this is what happened. She misspelled it in here, but the file name didn't change. Maybe I want to just read all the files in the folder, kind of thing. Maybe I should give them a, what do you call it? 3-letter, you know, call it .dat or something, an extension. So I'm not trying to read JPEGs. That's one way I could do this. Could just look at all the files. For example, oh no, she doesn't have one. I had a Fancy Pants JPEG. This is an item though, not a structure. It's not actually even downloading the image to go with it, because she had an image here. This is her preview image. So let's just say we're not worried about the actual title. We want you to just go straight to opening let's see, what is it? File dot I think what is it? Directory info. Directory info equals I don't even know how you get this. How do you do that? Directory info dot what is it? Shoot. No, file dot I do this in other places. Let's see. Save. How about start UI? Directory info. Oh, you just do new and then put the path in there. Okay. New directory info at entry.directory. And then we want to JSON, read all of that based on directory info dot contents, wasn't it? Get file. Get files number 0. Do I need to pass something in there? Shouldn't have to. 0, and then we want the full name. Is that the path? I think that's the full name. That's what we want. And let's go ahead and just debug that to make sure. We'll do an opening sort of a debug to make sure we're doing that right. That should try to find any files in here. We'll want to put that after this. Okay, so rather than rely on the entry.title, we're just going to look straight at any files in the folder for now. I think probably in the long run, we're actually going to want to do something more like loop through the folder. I don't know, like you can't actually change the files here, to my knowledge. If I go to the files I've posted, workshop test, edit images and videos, like you can't actually change the content to the best of my knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and how do I make this private? I'll just delete it. Change visibility. Hidden. I don't know. Load. Now they're all working. So, even in the case of these other ones, like, even this one wasn't showing up. And now it's showing up with an O. This is within the, yeah, this is with a T here too though. This is the saved data title. So this is the actual structure name itself. Timber cost 00000. So you're going to give me that for free? No. Doesn't look like it's actually working. File not found, file not found. Okay, well, moving in the right direction. We're at least displaying the files now. We're getting file not found though, so our 940 line, which, no, that's not what we're, workshop structure, no, yeah, it's got all the data right here. These are all the, yeah, message truncated. These are the actual building stuff there though, so that looks like it's working. Let me go ahead and just click on one of those rather than spam a whole bunch of them to the console so I can peek at it. And then the actual load button just wasn't working properly, which is probably doing the same thing, and that it's not actually using this directory info method. It's gonna add that JSON to the pre-mades. It's gonna add the slots, and then if I click on one of those. Let's clear the console, do a load workshop. So we got a bunch of them. They showed up properly. What happens if I click on this guy? File not found. Okay, so what's going on here? It knows we're showing workshop. It's got the workshop directory, supposedly. Directory info, no workshop directory found, didn't trigger, so that's fine. For each directory info and directory get directories, get files, files load input, file name equals load input field dot text. That's a convoluted way to go about that. So let's see. We're trying to find the structure name. I should be saving with these premades. I've got a list of structure save premades here. Who else uses this? Serializable class. I think, yeah, that gets used quite extensively, so I don't want to just willy-nilly change that. If I could store the actual file name path somewhere here with this, that would help out a lot. And I could do that with a key on a dictionary sort of dealy, or I just don't really want to go through all of this again when I try to load the actual file itself. Down, where was it? Here, no? My structures, premades, my structures. Workshop. Update load window. Yeah, this wasn't working either. Looks like the actual load confirmed isn't even set up properly. I've just got an else here. I guess that is, yeah, it's just down here. But again, it's trying to find a file name based off of the structure name. But as we've already demonstrated, those don't necessarily match up. So what we really want to do is either save this, we kind of want to pass this number into it. That's probably what we want, isn't it? We want to get the workshop code so we can look in that folder and grab the file in there regardless of its name. Poor kitty. What's the matter? How to go about that? Currently we're saving the structure save in just a normal list. Which is a little weird. Let's rename this first of all to be something more like loaded structures. And that's basically only being used down here when we do load premades or when we do load workshop only. There's another load, isn't there? These are load my structures. In this event, it's not passing to loaded structures. What is it passing to? It's loading them itself right here. Building UI structure save, setup path, get file name, .name. When we do that here, we're passing the structure holder name. So we do have that being passed around. Path.getFileName. So really, in the event of loading workshop, we want to not be passing this guy around. We want to pass it we're already still using the structure save here though. But they get added right here. Loaded structures is only being used in these instances. So that's a bit strange, honestly. Premades has only got that one in it, so there's no reason for it to even add and then go through that. And likewise here, I don't need to buffer it into this. I can just go straight to this. Let's just comment it out for now. And we're going to do load slots add, instantiate. And we're not going to be using this anymore. We're going to be using the... we could use the full name, I guess is what we're talking about now. Get file 0 dot name. So this is going to be just the file name now. And we're not doing U anymore. Now, we're passing the save name, which is basically just the file name, into the button itself. When the button gets clicked, it then tells update load selector, update load window, which is going to make use of the workshop, but again, load input field.text. Why is it using that? We click on this button. First thing that it does is sets that based off of the file name we pass it. So that should work. This is now going to be the save file. It's setting the load input field.text to equal that. It's just kind of a weird way of doing that. I'd rather just like pass it in here, for example. But so we're going to get to showing workshop. It's going to use that text to look for the file. And we're debugging that, so it should print that out for us to see what we're getting. Once it finishes compiling and I can reload it. Do kind of want to get rid of some of these debugs bogging stuff down now that we know that this is all working properly. Don't need U. let's go ahead and actually let's just comment these guys out because we might be getting into trouble again here before long. Structure save. That all looks fine. Recompile once more here. It's the update load window here then that the button is calling again. And we do have the workshop defined. The directory should exist. We're going to get directories, we're going to get files, and we're going to look for the file name that we're looking for. Once we do, we're going to break out of those loops. Is this a dictionary? Yeah, for each works, I guess. I don't really use for each anymore nowadays. I used to use it all the time. So, load workshop. File not found. I didn't click on anything yet. Workshop test. That did load properly. So storehouse with crane, showing that there's a lot of stuff here that I don't currently have. So if I click load, it's going to say not enough resources. This guy, if I click load, it looks like it's working fine now. It went a little higher there than I told it to, but it did work. So let's try and load that storehouse with crane, built by Bella. I'm going to need a lot of timber, a lot of lumber, and some metal. So let me just bring all of that in real quick here. Hopefully this will all fit in my inventory. Looks like it did. Last one didn't work there. Okay. So let's just refresh the window there. Now I've got enough. I'm going to load it and I'm going to rotate it. Go over here and plop it down, and looks like I got it backwards, but there it is. Let's get these trees out of the way. Loaded as expected, looking good. And one thing that I want to do today too, if I can, now that this is working, I think I will do today is I actually want to get torches customizable, so you can get colored. Ooh, we probably want to do for these guys too, but we'll do torches for now, so that if you can get glowing mushrooms, you can make magic torches that you can then change the color and range and intensity of. I don't think that that's going to be too hard to do, but I'm glad that this is working now. So, yeah, it knows that it's called Storehouse with Crane now, even though when I go to, yeah, it does show it there too. Yeah, the structure name that she actually saved it with is Storehouse with Crane, but somehow the workshop title got misprinted there to be Sorehouse with Crane. And the weather changed awful quick there, didn't we? Didn't we fix that to, no, I guess we didn't. We're playing on beta. Oh goodness, little kitty. I'm gonna go change those real quick. That's weird. I guess that didn't carry over properly from beta. Neither did the weather prefab settings, so I don't know why that is. Version control doesn't seem to recognize some of those files properly. But not a big deal. Just open them up, and they were all 0.05 was the preferred setting there. Okay. So, let's see. Looks like that is all working properly. What is this? Blank debug. Yeah, I did do that. Tried to load one once before I actually even clicked on anything, and that was a little weird. That wasn't an error, though. It just came up as file not found. Which is fine. Yeah. I could just put a little load input field.text bit here and say if this guy is equal to nothing, then just don't even bother. Right? File not found, else. Well, I guess we don't want to return. Do we want to break? Yeah, break wouldn't get, we're only in an if statement here. Do we have a reset method? Reset load window. Name depth. I think that's what we want. And then we can return after that. Just want to make sure that it's not leaving a bunch of this funkily. And we should probably be resetting the colors as well to white in that reset method. Where was that? We want all of these to be white. And let's see. I guess if they're blank, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I was thinking of the titles too. Don't the titles get color changed when we update that? No big deal. Looks like that is working fine though now. Let's do it one more time just to be sure we didn't mess anything up at the end there. Should be good, should be good. Fixed that. I'm going to turn this back on. Not immediately though. After we do our check. Okay, looks fine. We'll do our little workshop test here thing again just to be sure. Looks fine. Okay. It did look a little high though, didn't it? I'll look at that in a minute. I better look at that right now. So we're looking at building UI. I closed everything. UI structure. Load confirmed. We're going to open it, and then we're going to check for resources, and we're going to initiate structure placement using that, which is basically just going to move us to, we're going to set up the dummy, local position times 3F, but it looks like we're actually getting this plus 1.5. So I'm going to remember this spot here, and then actually look at where this is the initiation part, and then this is the actual place structure part, right? We're going to check resource availability. We're not adding to the spawn point anywhere here. We're going to tell it to actually spawn it. Building data structure placement height minus 3F. And this guy is going to set the local position right there. Don't think that's being specifically modified anywhere. This is all building rotation, voodoo. It's just using what it's passed in there, which we just lost, but it's right here. Building area y minus 1 times 3, so we're at basically minus 1. And then when we send it to actually get, well, the spawn dummy piece too, this might be a problem. Local scale, no, local position is 0. When we actually call to place it, we're doing minus 3 again. Load. Workshop test. I'm going to put it kind of the exact same height. What am I in the way of? Is there something there? And it's going to end up being like 1. That's only like 1 meter too tall. Why is it doing that? I wonder if it's snapping. Let's place another one. And I'm going to try and fit it to that size. And nope, it's going to go up again. I think it's snapping at 1.5. Let's do one more. And we'll try to put him down somewhere. What am I running into? It's not telling me. No, I guess it's not snapping. It's just going up too high. So either the dummy is too low, Building area's local position equals -3. Spawn dummy piece. No. East edge, south edge, center floor. When we spawn the dummy piece, we're setting it to 0. We're not, these aren't large blocks. Let's take a look at the dummy itself in the editor here. Structure placement dummy. His pivot is right here. So that should be correct. The structure pivot is down here. Structure placement mode, we're spawning the dummy down a full area, which is 3 meters. But it didn't look like, I mean, this isn't a full 3 meter jump that it's making here. I tried to line it up perfectly with this guy, and he is at 879.2. This guy then ended up being at 879.95. That's a really weird jump of 0.7. Then I tried to match this guy up to 9.9, and he went up to 1.4. That's almost 1.5 growth there, right? 79.95, 1.47. That's some really weird numbers. Well, I mean, you know, it wasn't precise because I was just using the mouse. So that's like solid 1.5 difference there. If it was snapping, though, I wouldn't expect to see these fractions. It would snap straight to a variable of 1.5, which is not doing that either. So I think we're getting an incorrect positioning here of 1.5. But I don't see 1.5 being used anywhere. Spawn dummy piece is just based off of the area position. Which is set up here. And then when we go to actually place the structure, again, we pass that in there, but using the structure placement height -3. Structure placement height is what the mouse is currently colliding with, plus the QE value that we've given it to raise and lower it. And then we're subtracting 3 from that. So if anything, we would expect a full 3 difference. I don't see a 1.5 going off anywhere. Structure holder spawn point plus structure placement height -3. This guy's just using the data as is, structure local position, whatever gets passed to it. I am unsure what is going on here. And I'm 30 minutes late on my lunch break, so my brain's slowing down. Haven't had any sugar or food for 4 hours. That's strange though. We really just want it to match up with the, when we actually click place structure. Let's see if we can put a debug in right here. Let's do debug.log spawn point plus building data.structure placement height. The spawn point is just giving us the local position on the terrain. That's all that is doing. There's no snapping going on. And then our structure placement height is just, again, the Q and E values when we're raising or lowering it. And I believe that starts at 0. So we should get a nice print out of that now. I want to explain to Bella there what I fixed and what I'm assuming she did unintentionally, typoing that title somehow. Let's see, so we're going to do workshop test. I'm going to try to line it up properly here. And what do I keep colliding with? Is it just too close to the building? Load. Whoops. It just doesn't want to be too close. That seems a little weird too, but so more or less we've got it like pretty much lined up there. Should just be 0.7. That doesn't sound correct. If I take this and I subtract minus 0.7, that puts me back down to the correct position. So we're getting 0.7 on there twice somehow. What's up, anime dude? Yeah, this is the starter biome height right there, 88.2.3. So this 0.7 is getting doubled on there somewhere. Where do we do in that? Spawn point equals collision inverse transport point. Is point getting modified? Vector 3 spawn point equals point. Place structure. That's called when we actually are in the update method here. We're doing building select mode. No. We're doing building. No, not facilities either. Not boat. Structure placement mode. Here we go. So when I actually click to the point that we actually do place structure, we're just doing hit Dot transfer building structure placement dummy dot transform dot position. So we don't actually need to add that second bit here. Should just be -3, because the spawn point is already using the dummy position. Which already incorporates that 0.7. This is only used when you're actually placing a saved structure. So this is not something people do very often. If it was town buildings, that would be different, and we know that that works, because we do that all the time. If it's a new building, we know that that works, because we do that all the time. But again, that's something else. This is only when we're loading a saved structure. Seems like it's doubling. The height modifier. So we'll do this one last time. Workshop, test, load. Try to get it kind of even. And that looks better. It actually looks a little lower. No, yeah, it should be. As expected. Okay, so that was just bothering me. That should be working now. Let's make some notes here of what we have fixed so far, because I quickly lose track of this stuff. So we're working on a 1.7. It is the 16th here. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? Should we do kitty cam? Go do this cat shot. What are you doing? You bored? I'm not playing with you. Today we fixed strong harvesting skills not working on elemental stones. Hi, kitty. What else did we fix? We fixed armor. Let's see, fixed the new armor and alchemy recipes on the skill trees from leveling up beyond level 5. What else did we do? Added an item editor button to the main UI in creative mode. I like to put fixed stuff on the bottom, so I'll put added above that. Added empty and fill buttons to chests, tombstones, and loot. I think that's all that we've done so far this morning. We also fixed, let's see, fixed workshop subscribed buildings not listing / loading properly. And we fixed loaded, let's see, fixed saved structure load placement, doubling the placement height modifier, which is Q and E. We've done so far, and let's see. I think that is all that we need. I probably want to test subscribed items. Not sure anybody's uploaded any subscribed items. I got my fancy pants that I'm subscribed to. Yeah, and those are working. It always shows duplicate fancy pants trying to load because I've got them locally, and I've also got them in my workshop folder. So I think that those are accepted for game. What does that mean? Anyway, can we sort by tag? Browse by tag. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing in here. Browse. Whatever. So, today I also want to do storage chest, socket icons. Let's look at that real quick. I better get to lunch though, honestly. I need some food. Brain's starting to fall apart. I'm going to, though, work on storage chest, socket icons, and I'm going to try and get, let's see, let's get a breathing potion going, and let's get magic torches going. So I think that'll be fun. I think, though, I will push a patch for all of this stuff once I get the enchant, or what are they, socket icons working properly, before I move on to water breathing potions and magic torches. Let's get a new beta patch going. And if all of that stuff works fine, as it looks like it does, I want to go ahead and start pushing. I want to get one of these pushes out to live, like people are requesting, because it's been a while. I've been working on beta for a bit. Good kitty. I'm just gonna, what was I gonna do here? Well, I'm gonna try and unlock one of these crafting skills, like, who have I got? I got smithing points, right? Okay, I want to do this, yeah, it knows it's only goes up to 5, right? Unlocks legendary, so I've got it up to legendary now. Okay, so that should be working fine. So, yep, went a little long today. I'm gonna head to lunch though, and I'm not gonna be streaming in the PM anymore, but I'm gonna keep working on this stuff and put a patch out in one form or another later today, and hopefully maybe be pushing today's patch live tomorrow, I think. It's good to let that stuff sit on the beta for at least a day, make sure I didn't break something important, you know. But assuming that all goes well, that is the current plan, and I'll get the breathing potions and magic torches going in a different build. Would like to kind of get a building color setup thing going too, but that might be a little advanced. Maybe not. Might have to be a tool, like a deconstruct tool, something you can point, like a paintbrush. I think that's how Satisfactory does it. I think that's how most games do it, actually. You don't have to actually individually open them up or anything like that. You just point something at them with a preset color. Yeah, Empyrean does that too. Factorio does that too. Anyway, thinking about implementing that too to make just building be a bit more engageable and interesting. And once those things are working, we're going to be working on a water cave, moving lava caves to be their own caves. So then we'll have water, fire, and wind, which are the floating islands. And those 3 will be the key to elemental planes, which is the next step we'll be working on. So that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow morning. Thanks for everybody that stopped by.